Do you need a fun idea for displaying some flowers this spring? I've got you covered. Grab a chandelier, the old brass kind from your local thrift store or a neighbor who happens to be remodeling, and let's get started. The first thing I decided to do, of course, was take out the bulbs. This thing came complete. And at that point, I needed to also remove the sockets. Then I extended the wire all the way up as far as it would go and snipped it at the base to make sure that it wouldn't get in the way. Then I went to the top of the chandelier where it would be hardwired into the ceiling and went ahead and removed that wiring as well. At this point, I need to adhere these discs back down. Construction adhesive is one of my favorite things, and I just use that at the bottom of each one and secure them back down and then let it sit overnight. It needs 24 hours to cure. And my terracotta pots sit perfectly on these screws that come out, or those bolts that come out. And so I wanted to also use that construction adhesive to apply these. So I put a little bit on the bottom. After that second curing, then it's outside to paint. And I chose this fun pink for the spring. I absolutely love it. And the whole thing gets painted. 2 coats and then a few spots here and there because of the many different parts of the chandelier. I had to make sure I didn't miss anything. Then after that, I was able to take it out to the garden and put a little bit of potting soil in each, as well as a petunia of different colors. So some of these aren't blooming yet, but once they do, it's going to be amazing. Wipe off any of the excess soil. And if you happen to plant on a cardboard box like I did, you can just lift it up and put the soil right into your garden. I had this shepherd's hook on our side yard that used to hold a bird feeder, but is holding nothing now. And so I used that chain in order to hang it, and it was perfect, you guys. It adds such a fun bit of whimsy to our side yard over here by our apple tree and our lilies that are about to bloom, and I just love the bit of fun that it adds here. So hope you found this helpful and hope you give it a try.
For this project, you're going to need some bricks. I'm using folk art chalk paint in the color cashmere, and I'm painting the top skinny side as well as one skinny side of the brick. I repeat this process for all of the bricks. Now that all of the bricks are dry, it's time to paint the rest of the sides. It's important to pick a kind of paint that will reflect where the bricks will be placed. So if they'll be in the elements, you'll want something that will stand up to the elements. Once that was completely painted, I moved on and continued painting all of the other bricks in a variety of colors. I grabbed a permanent marker in the color black and drew stripes on the top skinny side. This reflected pages of the book, and I did this for all of the bricks. Now it was time to decorate the binder. So I grabbed a variety of permanent markers in a variety of colors and drew some designs, some stripes, and also some little shapes. Now that everything is on the books and the bricks are complete, it's time to place them in the garden. And here it is, all completed in my garden. And I hope this inspires you to make a garden border of your own.
So I ran down to the hardware store and picked up some 24-inch long pieces of wood. I measured and marked the wood, made 5/8-inch large holes so that the rope would slide through easily. Once I had those ready, I went ahead and slid my rope in and tied a knot at the bottom. So I made a 20-inch measurement and marked it. I knew that that's where I was going to make my next knot and add my next piece of wood. I repeated that process until I had 5 shelves in place. I then secured the rope on the curtain rod that I already had on the door. This allowed me to hold it in place while I worked on the other side. I made sure everything was straight, and then I started to work my way down using the leftover rope. Once I had everything in place, it was hanging really nicely. Once that was done, I set my plants in place.
Headed on down to Dollar Tree to grab some bottles, and I'm also going to need a bottle cutting device. I got this off Amazon. It was real easy. I went ahead and took off the cap and top off the bottle. That was easy to do. Next, what I'm going to do is adjust the tool to go ahead and score or line up the bottle where I want it to be cut and to split it. Once you got that marked, we're going to take some of the rubber rings that come with the kit, and I'm going to put it just a few centimeters away from the line on the top and the bottom. Once I do that, it's on to some boiling water. Now be very careful when we do this. We're going to pour it over the score line, and we're going to do this for about 20 to 30 seconds. It's going to get the bottle real hot in that area. Very carefully, we're then going to go over to some ice water, pour it over, and it's going to pop right there at that score line. And look at that, we got a nice clean cut. It also comes with some sandpaper, 220 grit, and we're going to move it back and forth on that to give it a nice, smooth, easy edge. Once we do that, we're going to turn that bottle top upside upside down. I'm going to put some pebbles on the bottom, and then I'm going to add some succulents. Now the base, I got this sand at Dollar Tree. I put a little bit on the bottom, and again, you guessed it, I grabbed a candle from Dollar Tree also, and I put it in there. Now, what am I going to put my new cut bottles with my candle and succulents on? Well, I decided to build something that would go out in the front yard and kind of be a conversation piece. So I grabbed some scrap wood from my pile and I started building. It's time to put my bottles into place. And then the base with the candles, I'm going to put those at the bottom and light them up. I made it to where I could have many different signs. I've got 2 boards that slide in and out with 2 sayings on each side. So every week I can have a different saying.
I completely transformed this thrifted lampshade into the most beautiful home decor. I removed the shade so it was just the wire frame. I used a utility knife to scrape off the glue. Then I sanded the wire frame with sandpaper and steel wool. I wiped clean and then spray painted it matte black. While it was drying, I sanded a wood round, wiped it clean, and sealed it with gloss spray Varathane. I applied 5 coats and then sprayed the last coat with satin Varathane. I pre-drilled and screwed the wire frame and wood round together. I grabbed 2 hanging baskets and liners from Dollar Tree for this epic garden project. I unclipped the chains off of one of the baskets and placed the liners in each basket. Next, I used sharp scissors to cut a slit in the middle of each section and in the center hole at the bottom. Then I grabbed some petunias from my local garden center and carefully placed them into each hole. Planting from the outside worked best for me. I set it aside and repeated the same steps for the second basket. Next, I filled the center of each basket with potting soil and watered it. I gently placed one basket on top of the other and secured them together using 4 black zip ties. At that point, I decided to add in a few more flowers on the edge where the baskets meet.
Grab some pots, plants, and rebar from your local home improvement store. Just be sure that the bottom planter is wider than the rest and comes with a saucer. Start by placing a generous layer of rocks or gravel, then fill your pots with your selected plants. Choose your plants to have a variety of complementary but contrasting shapes and colors, with some plants draping over the sides of the pots and others more shrubby and upright. Try to select a full plant that has some height for the uppermost pot to conceal any visible rebar. Once your plants are potted, begin stacking your pots. Insert the rebar into the bottom pot, making sure it comes through the drainage hole at the bottom and rests on the saucer. Continue stacking with your remaining pots, alternating the angle of each for a topsy-turvy effect. Finish by tucking sheet moss into any visible bare spots for a more polished look.
Check out your local garden center and see what spring flowers are available. Shop your house for a woven basket. First, spray paint your basket in a moss green color. Once the basket is completely dry, take a can of clear spray adhesive and spray a small section on the side of the basket. Take clumps of green moss and press it onto the sticky side of the basket. Continue to press moss onto the sprayed area on the basket. You can manipulate your moss so it is a little thinner and covers more space on the basket. Continue until the base of the basket is covered. Don't worry if every spot is covered. The green basket color will disappear behind the different green shades of the moss. You will also want to spray the rim of the basket with clear adhesive and press the moss onto the basket rim edge. Have fun playing with the placement of the different shades of the moss. You don't need to glue moss to the inside of the basket. Instead, take a clear plastic water tray and press it into the bottom of the basket so it is protected. Now, grab some scissors and start to cut apart the different cells of the flower 6-pack. Start to place the individual plants into the moss-covered basket and arrange them so any blooms or buds are facing outward. Fill in around the bottom of the plants with the moss so the plant cells disappear. Depending on your weather, place this moss-covered basket indoors or out and enjoy watching each bloom emerge as spring appears. Thanks for watching Home Talk. I'll see you next time.